8 years old, already written off by half of Spain as too slow for modern football, Guardiola saw the most intelligent passer on the planet. Andrés Iniesta. Quiet, fragile, perpetually underestimated. Guardiola saw a man who could dribble through 3 defenders while looking like he was taking a walk in the park. Lionel Messi, 20 years old, already brilliant, but deployed as a conventional winger. Guardiola saw something different, something the football world hadn't seen before. Sergio Busquets, playing in the reserves. Unknown, Guardiola promoted him to the first team. People thought he'd lost his mind. Gerard Piqué, a centre-back who'd left Barcelona's academy as a teenager because he couldn't get a game. He'd gone to Manchester United, barely played, and come back with his tail between his legs. Guardiola made him a starter on day 1. These weren't signings, they were bets. And the football establishment thought every single one of them was wrong. Guardiola's first act as Barcelona manager was not a tactical innovation. It was a massacre. Ronaldinho? Sold. Not loaned. Not given a final chance. Sold to AC Milan before the ink on Guardiola's contract was dry. This was a Ballon d'Or winner, a man who'd filled Camp Nou with joy for half a decade. Gone. Deco. Gone. Shipped to Chelsea. Another icon erased. Samuel Eto'o, Barcelona's best striker, was nearly pushed out too. Guardiola wanted him gone. The two men clashed immediately. Eto'o survived, barely, but only because no suitable offer arrived in time. It was like watching someone redecorate a house by setting half of it on fire first. The message was unmistakable. There were no sacred cows, no reputation that protected you. If you didn't fit the system, you were out, and the system was everything. In their place, Guardiola promoted kids. Busquets from the B team, Pedro from the reserves. He built a starting 11 where 7, sometimes 8 players had grown up together in the same academy. Pre-season was chaotic. Barcelona lost their opening league match to Numancia, a team most football fans would need Google to locate. The headlines wrote themselves: too young, too inexperienced, too naive. Barcelona's early season looked like a man trying to teach a symphony to an orchestra that was still unpacking their instruments. But Guardiola wasn't building a team for September. He was building a machine for May. Something shifted around October 2008, and once it shifted, it never shifted back. The system clicked, not gradually, not with polite incremental improvements. It clicked like a lock opening. One day Barcelona were promising, the next day they were terrifying. Xavi became the metronome. Every single attack flowed through him. He didn't beat defenders with pace or power, he beat them with geometry. The ball arrived at his feet, and within one touch, he'd already calculated 4 options. By the time defenders moved to close him down, the ball was gone, 3 passes ahead of where anyone expected it. Iniesta became the ghost, floating between the lines, appearing in spaces that shouldn't have existed. Defenders would mark him, turn around, and find he'd materialized 5 yards away with the ball at his feet. You couldn't foul him because you couldn't touch him. You couldn't mark him because he didn't stay in one place. And Messi. This is where Guardiola did something nobody expected. Pep moved Messi from the right wing to a position that didn't yet have a name. A false 9. A striker who wasn't a striker. A number 10 who played like a 9, but dropped deep like an 8. It broke football's brain. Centre-backs didn't know whether to follow him or hold their line. If they followed, Eto'o or Henry sprinted into the space. If they held, Messi received the ball with 20 yards of grass in front of him, and 20 yards of grass in front of Messi was a death sentence. Behind them all sat Busquets, 20 years old, playing like he'd been in the first team for a decade, intercepting, recycling, protecting. the most boring player to watch if you didn't